Yo guys, what's up? It's Cherry here, coming at you guys with the draft analysis for the UPBA. Alright guys, today I am doing the draft analysis for the UPBA. This league is commissioned by Jack, aka Gravy, and it's a big draft. We have 22 coaches participating in this season, and we have names like Under the Radar, Grandmaster D-Ray, Ricky, he's a friend of mine, A13 is in it, Lucas is in it. Like, there are a lot of awesome and amazing people participating in this season of the UPBA. Now, I have some other draft leagues going on. There's another Wi-Fi draft league that I may upload for, and it's more fun-based. Their tier list is pretty interesting, to say the least. And then I'm participating in like two other showdown leagues. One is a team tour, which I may do a video on, and the other is WPF, another season of WPF that I chose not to record this season because of, BBL and all the other leagues that are going on. But with that being said and that introduction done with everything, let's get started. So, if I remember correctly, I have the 17th pick of this draft. I need to figure it out. Yes, so I was 17th out of 22 coaches, which at the time I was kind of mad, but towards towards the end of the draft, I was pretty happy. Definitely was pretty happy because 22 coaches, yeah, you're gonna miss out on a lot of picks, but you're close to wheel, and that's really good because you can set the tone for the next round and so on and so forth. So we got 17th, but we still managed to get some really good picks, and without further ado, let's get right into it. So our first round pick is a mon that I've wanted to use for the absolute longest, and I wanted to use it before I transitioned to Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. This mon is Rillaboom. Rillaboom is a really good mon. I love this thing. This thing is great. Grassy terrain, grassy glide. It's just such a really awesome buff that they gave Rillaboom in, I think, Owl of Armor. And it has great bulk. It has good speed. Base 85 speed is nothing to sneeze at. It has coverage like Knockoff, High Horsepower, U-Turn as well for some momentum. It's just a really good mon, and in theory it looks amazing. I can't really say, how good it is in practice because I've never used it, but I'm so excited to use this in UPBA before we transition to Jet 4 remakes. So yeah, that is my first round pick. Moving on into our second round pick, which was Wheels. So we were like 5th overall if I'm doing my math, or 6th overall if I'm doing my math right. I think it's 5th, but don't quote me on that. We managed to pick up Blacephalon. Rillaboom Blacephalon. I've wanted to try Blacephalon for a long time. I've used Chandelure in PBAL. I loved it. But the main problem I saw with Chandelure was honestly its speed. Like, base 80 is really pretty good. I said really pretty good. It's a pretty good speed tier. It's a really good Scarf speed tier. But I felt like, I don't know, I wasn't really outspeeding everything that I kind of wanted to outspeed, and I kind of felt obligated most weeks to run Scarf, which is not bad. But with Blacephalon, I get the extra boost in my speed with base 107, as well as I have like 7 or 6 base special attack higher than Chandelure, which kind of, in my opinion, doesn't really matter, but, that's always a good thing. And I don't know, I just feel like with grassy terrain, this could be really good. So yeah, that's pretty much Blacephalon. Sorry, Root. Sorry that I stole this from you, but I told him when I took it, grab Chandelure. Moving on into our round 3 pick, we were 17th again. And considering okay, so there were 22 coaches in this thing drafting, and I don't know. I had a bad feeling about this because I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get sniped a gazillion times. There are so many coaches drafting and they're going to think the same thing. So I need to prioritize picks that I can't really replace. So for our round 3 pick, I decided to snag Noivern. Shout out to Hades. His team name is the New Orleans Noiverns, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong. But Noivern for 10 points, I felt was pretty good. Base 123 speed, which is nice. Gives me something faster than Blacephalon. And gives me a dragon type, gives me more momentum, gives me my first way of removing hazards with Defog. And Noivern can run a lot of sets. I've ran like Spadef defensive Noivern with Whirlwind. Shout out to Palms. There could be Throat Spray Boom Burst. I've ran Specs. I've even ran Scarf. Boots is always a thing. And I don't know, Noivern's just a really, really good mon. And I like using it, honestly. So shout out to the other 21 coaches for letting me get Noivern round 3. Because I honestly, I doubt they had their eyes on Noivern. So that's why I grabbed it. But anyway, now I'm rambling. That is our round 3 pick. Moving on into our round 4 pick. I don't know why this was still around round 4 after 88 Mons win. I don't know. Well, technically 87. This would make 88. I don't know why this is still around at the time, but hey, I managed to get Milotic. I mainly got Milotic because from using Milotic, Rillaboom, and VGC, I love the idea of Milo Grassy Terrain. Just the idea of having a potential Flame Orb and also having Grassy Terrain mitigate that and neutralize it to where I'm not losing 6% HP per turn, I'm actually losing nothing. And then the idea of, hey, I can run Leftovers and instead of 6%, I gain 12%, which is pretty much a Stealth Rock switch in, which is really, really good. And Milo's just a really bulky water that can do good damage. Base 81 speed is nothing to sneeze at as well. And it can run Coil, can run Hypnosis, Recover, and Flip Turn, and, you know, the standard Ice Beam Scald, you know. And I don't know, I just fell in love with this thing. I'm like, if I can snag this with Blacephalon and Rillaboom, especially since everyone was going for their Fairy Dragon Steel Core, I'm like, if I can snag this good Firewater Grass Core first, then I should be good to go. So we managed to get Milotic round 4. Moving on into our round 5 pick, we have Silvally. So here's the deal. I think I got sniped this round. I don't know if I got Bronzong sniped. I might have got Bronzong sniped at this time by Ricky. Ricky, I still hate you for that. But I was like, let's throw a wild card out there. Let's go on the website, wild card. Let's put in Silvally. Let's see if it makes it. I doubt it makes it because under the radar, Grandmaster D-Ray, the Montreal Milotics, and who else? Who else has used it? Don't quote me on this, but I think Swinthune also used Silvally, or I don't know, he maybe likes it as well. But I doubted, high-key doubted, that Silvally would make it to me. But somehow, Silvally made it. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll take it. Gives me a second Defogger. Gives me pretty much any type that I need on a given week, which honestly I think is really broken. And they buffed multi-attack this gen. Base 120 now, which is awesome. With Stab, that makes it a base 180 attack. Not even considering super effective, which would make it base 360, if I'm doing my math correct. But overall, this thing is really good. Base 95 across the board. Like I said, Defog gives me Parting Shot and U-Turn. Has really good coverage, as well as the option to run any type with multi-attack. And all in all, really, really good. Filled in a speed gap between Blacephalon and Rillaboom. And honestly, I'm still shocked that I got this round 5. But, you know, that aside, that is our round 5 pick. Moving on into our round 6 pick, which honestly, I don't know how I got this round 6. I don't know how I got this round 6, but we managed to get Raikou round 6. I don't know how, but hey, I'll take it. Fills the sweet gap between Noivern and Blacephalon really well, which is something I wanted. A good electric type that gets access to Scald and Aura Sphere and Shadow Ball, Sub-Toxic, Sub-Calm Mine, Assault Vest, Volt Switch. Like, it's just, I've seen D-Ray use this thing, and I loved it. I loved how D-Ray used this, so I'm hoping that I can use it just as well, or in a similar scale. But yeah, no, I'm really, really excited to use Raikou. Only weakness being ground, but because I have grassy terrain, my opponents are forced to run high horsepower, Stomping Tantrum, or they're forced to run Earthquake, but have the damage reduced because of grassy terrain. So, and then just the same idea, like Sub-Toxic, just Substitute in general is a really common Raikou set, and they usually run lefty, so I'm healing back 12% as long as grassy terrain's up, which in 3 turns would heal back all of the substitute damage that I took, which is insane. But anyway, rambling again. So glad that I got this thing round 6, and so excited to use it for pretty much the first time. Moving on into our round 7 pick, I realized that I wanted a fairy. I wanted Clefairy as my fairy, but D-Ray decided, hey, I'm just going to take Clefairy and Grimmsnarl, which I understand. But, you know, I want a Clefairy. All the fairies started to go this round. It was really, really annoying. So I was like, I don't want to get stuck with Wigglytuff. That's not what I'm looking forward to. So we got Alchemy. Alchemy's a pretty good mon for what I've seen, rather. Very good Spit F wall. I felt like I needed more physical bulk considering Milo, but Flame Orb is always a possible set with Milo. Alchemy's damage output is meh. It's not really, you know, top tier, but it can be really, really good. Like I said, grassy terrain with lefties, and it gets access to recover. It gets like Mystical Fire and Psychic, Stored Power, Acid Armor, Calm Mind. Like, it could be a really good setup sweeper and setup threat. So people need to watch out for this thing, which is good. But, you know, that's pretty much it for Alchemy. I'm also excited to run different forms, but, you know, that's a cosmetic thing. But yeah, that's it for Alchemy. Moving on into our round 8 pick. 5 points for Weezing? Excuse me? I had eyes on Weezing since like round 5. Like, I'm like, dude, I need a grounded poison. This thing can run, well, this thing doesn't have to run Levitate. And honestly, I can afford to not run Levitate some weeks, especially against physical ground types, purely because of grassy terrain. But grounded poison gives me a Toxic Spiker as my first way of setting hazards, because I just realized that, and that's pretty bad. But gives me a Toxic Spiker, gives me a grounded poison some weeks, gives me a pretty good bulky mon for 5 points. I will gladly take that, especially look at my budget. I have 25 points left because I drafted high in like the first 6 rounds. Yeah, of course, because it's not coming back to me. But Weezing, for its value, was really, really good. Definitely think it should have been higher, 100%. But you know, hey, we take those. So that is it for Weezing. Moving on into our round 9 pick, I actually forgot what I got this round. Orbeetle. Okay, I originally had Espeon, but in post draft, I was like, hey, Espeon gives me a 110. I don't necessarily really need a 110. It'd be nice to fill the gap between Rillaboom and Silvally a bit better. And Webs is just really, really good. 6 points Orbeetle is actually not bad. Orbeetle gives me screen support, Webs, base 90 speed, which fills the small gap between Rillaboom and Silvally. Also gives me another setup sweeper with Iron Defense, Calm Mind, Iron Defense Body Press, gets Recover, like I said earlier, and gets pretty good coverage, like Energy Ball, Dual Stabs. Like, it can do good damage if you like set it up high enough, but you know, it can do good damage. So that's pretty much it for Orbeetle. Gave me another hazard setter and, you know, speed and more pivot with U-turn. So, you know, wasn't really too wow with this pick. Moving on into our round 9 pick, I think, yeah, round 9, I can't count, I decided to grab Pangoro. Now, I originally had something. I forget what I had originally. I wanted to trade for Scrafty, but Platinum Howler took over a team mid-draft. He was doing his post-transactions. And I was like, hey, I'm just going to wait for him. Maybe he'll drop something that I secretly want. I don't know. I'll just wait. He picks up Scrafty. I was pissed. I'm like, I should have just typed before him. I should have, But, Pangoro, I've never used Pangoro before. It does really, really good damage. The only problem I see with it is its speed tier, but it's only meant to really break. Knockoff spam is a thing, and I don't know. It can do a lot of damage if my opponent isn't careful. Gets access to Parting Shot as well, but I don't really see myself using that too much. I just see myself clicking buttons, Close Combat, Drain Punch, Knockoff, Gunk Shot. Like, it gets everything under the sun. Even Bullet Punch hits fairies for priority. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Pangoro. Just a really, really good physical breaker that can break teams and add on to my offense. Moving on into my round 10 meme pick. Picked up Palpitoad. Palpitoad has 2 uses. 3 uses. It's my Dracovish switch-in. It's my Stealth Rocker. And it's my ground type. Because I have no ground type. I don't even know if Palpitoad's water ground. I don't even know that. That's the sad thing. I don't even know if Palpitoad's water ground. But anyway, I have Silvally to run potentially ground if I needed to. So I wasn't really too worried about it. But Palpitoad gave me a 1-point mon with Stealth Rock. And it's really bulky. And my Dracovish switch-in. Even though I have like Milo and Grassy Terrain with Flame Orb. So that's okay. But other than that, I'm pretty much okay. That's all Palpitoad's for. And finally, for my round 11? Did I say round 11 or round 10? I forget. Oh my god. My round 12 pick. I was in call with Lucas. All the steel types were pretty much gone, except for Bisharp. But shout out to 813. 813 wanted Bisharp. So I was like, hey, he wanted Bisharp. He wasn't going to pick it that round. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to let him have Bisharp. He's my friend. I'm not going to do that to him. Swinthorn picks up Bisharp. I'm like, great. So I could have had it. Well, he didn't pick it that round. He didn't pick it the wheel. So I could have got it twice. But, I could have had Bisharp. And then I could have drafted, like, a fighting type over Pangoro. Like, it would have been pretty good. But, I was like, hey, I need a steel type. All the steel types rather are pretty much gone. I have no real fairy switch in. So big Stack Attacker. I've never used Stack Attacker before. Gives me a Stealth Rocker. 4 times weak to ground. I was kind of worried about that, but Grassy Terrain, it helps, but it only goes with so far. And then the 4 times to fighting, that's also something else. That's something else that's getting me. But, gives me a Stealth Rocker, gives me a Trick Room Sweeper, can do really, really good damage. I really want to slap a Choice Band on this thing 1 week and just click buttons. But, yeah, that's pretty much it for Stack Attacker, and that's pretty much it for my draft. I really, really like my draft. I think my draft is pretty good. I think, actually, let me go back. I think the one thing I'm kind of about is the fact that I have no Wish Passer. Which, having a Wish Passer is kind of overrated. Honestly, it's not necessary. But I don't know. I feel like, me personally, I always have to have a Wish Passer. But hey, I have Grassy Terrain. I literally talked myself out of this. I have Grassy Terrain. I have Recover on Milo. I have Recover on Alchemy. I have Recover on Orbeetle. I have Water Absorb with Palpitoad. Blacephalon is not staying in a gazillion times, or is not aggressively switching into anything. Noivern has Roost. Like, I'm okay. I should be okay. But just in case I'm not, there are always free agents. But I doubt anything is left to pick up. But hey, we'll always improvise. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my draft. If you guys enjoyed this weird draft analysis, leave a comment down below what you think about my team. And, you know, if you want to, you can always leave a like. And week 1 should be out this Friday, I think. I don't know. By the time you see this, this should go up tomorrow, which is Monday, which is the same day BBL will go up. Or actually, I may make this go up on Tuesday. Or nah, this will probably go up on Monday. Because I have an idea of what to do with my BBL Week 8 match. Because that's interesting. But anywho, that's pretty much it for my draft. If you guys enjoyed, you can always leave a like down below. Comment down below what you think about my team. I'm going to get the heck up out of here because I have a gazillion things to do and I need to play Pokemon Unite. So, without further ado, I am Cherry and I will catch you guys next time. Peace!